because Nietzsche in some sense did style himself at least a severe critic of Christianity, but nothing could be farther from the truth. Nietzsche said that God was dead and that we had killed him and that we'd never find enough water to wash away the blood. And that's not a triumphalist proclamation. And he said at approximately the same time that the consequence of the death of God would be that European civilization would vacillate between nihilism and totalitarianism, and that 100 million people would die as a consequence in the 20th century.
I'm in the process of getting lost. I've had many moments where I hesitated, backtracked, got distracted, most of the time deliberately. It was at the suggestion of my keen and sharp-witted dad, who said to me, "Why are you stressing so much? Just travel and write books." And that's what I'm beginning to do. Today, my publicist friend said, after already publishing her client's story, that she would have appreciated it if she had approved it. I responded by saying, "No offense, but I don't need your approval. I'm a journalist, not a brand marketer, and if I were a brand marketer, you'd have to pay me." Frankly, I tell myself confidentially, you can't afford me. It takes courage to do what you want. Other people have a lot of plans for you. Nobody wants you to do what you want to do. They want you to go on their trip, but you can do what you want. I did. I went into the woods and read for 5 years. It was exciting, writing journals, trying to find out what I wanted. I still have those things. When I look into them now, I can't believe it. Freedom involves making decisions, and each decision is a destiny decision. It's very difficult to find in the outside world something that matches what the system inside you is yearning for. My feeling now is that I have a perfect life. What I needed came along just when I needed it. What I needed then was life without a job for 5 years. It was fundamental. I've been fantasizing about a man that I've recently started taking notice for the past few days. Today, I had asked him out, and he said yes. Now, I just want to head back to LA just so he can take off my clothes.
On Wednesday, the 31st of January at 7:30 p.m., I'm going to be speaking about my new book and its genesis at the lovely Orpheum Theatre in Los Angeles. And so I'd like to invite you to attend. I'll talk for about an hour and a half or so, perhaps 2, take questions from the audience, and then sign and dedicate books. And so if you'd be interested in hearing about 12 Rules for Life and about how it came about and what it's about and why, then please come to the theater and we'll have a fine time. So looking forward to seeing you there. 12 Rules for Life is about how to live properly in the face of vulnerability, tragedy, and malevolence. One of the propositions in 12 Rules for Life is that life existence is usefully characterized as an interplay of order and chaos, or unknown and known. You're always striving to balance those two. If what you're doing is too familiar, you're bored. And if what you're doing is too unfamiliar, then you're anxious. And what you want to do is find the harmonious line between those two, and that's signified by meaning. If you can get those two things right, then you can have your cake and eat it too. I hope people can take away the idea that there is a mode of being in the face of the vulnerability and tragedy of life that is noble and powerful and capable of sustaining them through the worst possible times without becoming corrupt and bitter.
So I have a theory that if you are on your own path, things are going to come to you. Since it's your own path and no one has ever been on it before, there's no precedent, so everything that happens is a surprise and is timely. There's the idea of bumping into experience and people while you're wandering. You really are experiencing life that way. Nothing is routine. Nothing is taken for granted. Everything is standing out on its own because everything is a possibility. Everything is a clue. Everything is talking to you. It's marvelous. It's as though you had a nose that brought you into the right places. You are in for wonderful moments when you travel like that. Oh, those were grand experiences. I was just flopping around, sniffing out what I would do and what I wouldn't do. I only wanted to do what made sense to my interior. I don't see how one can live otherwise, and nothing is better than reading when there is nothing else to do. There are two things you must not worry about when you have no responsibilities. One is being hungry, and the other is what people will think of you. Wandering time is positive. Don't think of new things. Don't think of achievement. Don't think of anything of the kind. Just think, where do I feel good? What is giving me joy? Take what comes and be where you like. What counts is being where you feel you're in your place. What people think is their problem. What will they think of me? Must be put aside for bliss.